In a world wrought with struggle and strife, a world rich with beauty and grandeur, a world where peril lies around every corner, a world of casting and pony. One group steps up to share the perspective of the masses in this, the World of Warcraft. We are Ponecast, the voice of the players.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Welcome back. You are watching Ponecast. This is episode 54. We are in patch 6.1.2. I am your Warlock host, Belle. I did also bring, I think they're the writers. They all look very different this week, so I'm not really sure if they're imposters or what's going on. But nonetheless, I did bring the mage who only travels to BlizzCon with his parents, Frieza.
It is true. I asked two of my really close friends, and I asked one of them, he said, no, he can't go, he has no money. Then I asked the other one, he says he has no vacation days. And I can't get on a plane by myself. I've never done it. And I'm very scared, and so I went and I was like, I'm going to go ask the people who have money. So I went to ask my parents. I was like, you guys want to go to California? And, well, once we get there, you leave me alone. You get your own place. You guys do what you want to do. But just go on a plane with me to there, and we'll be fine. And they were like, yeah, we want to go to California. So I was like, awesome. So I got plane traveling buddies now.
Awesome. So, to make sure that we give credit where credit's due, Frieza was not on the ticket buying situation at the time because of his fear of flying. Jobin, which is a writer for the Ponecast Daily Quest, an excellent writer. He's one of our class guide writers. He heard the pleas of us trying to acquire Frieza a ticket. His buddy wasn't able to go, so he bought a ticket for Frieza, which Frieza is then giving him the money for the ticket.
Very
and
thankful.
The ticket's already his, and we really, really appreciate Jobin for that, because that was pretty amazing, which is just another testament to how awesome this community is. So thank you for that, and we appreciate that you did help get Frieza to BlizzCon, and now his parents are assisting him by making sure they bring the diaper bag with him to BlizzCon.
I had a very good suggestion for Belle. I said, you know what? There's your perfect threes team. You can get your mom and dad to be on your threes team. You'd be set.
Really, I mean,
They can carry me in life and in game.
that's pretty
Exactly.
cool. Pretty
I like that.
I did also bring the Death Knight who lost all of his power because he shaved his facial hair. Like,
Yes. To be honest, I am in a production this week of a course that I joined with my daughter, and the fake chops that I wear just would not stick on the beard. So, yeah, the beard had to go.
well, I mean,
But the fake hair looks good.
He has big chops.
I don't really know how to. You guys all literally look different. And with that being said, I did also bring the shaman. I had a good intro for him, but I can't use it anymore. I have to change it given the current situation. I do want to let you guys know that pre-show Bloke did state that he was putting his mage transmog on, to which I replied, "You're not a mage. You are Gandalf the Grey." So I did bring the shaman who has hexed himself into Gandalf the Grey or some type of wizard. Huge blow.
I felt it was appropriate. I've been playing my mage a lot this week, and then this happened.
Which is not mage-like in nature whatsoever.
No.
But
It's because you know what? I can't lie. I kind of do need the big staff. You shall not pass. And I got really confused, but it's the best I could do.
what did you
This
call
is the best
yourself
mage
pre-show? Bloke Dumbledore?
Yeah. You know what? I can't do that. I really can't do that. I'm sorry.
Bloke, stop. Oh,
God.
Sorry,
There we-
guys, for those of you that are listening on audio. We're sorry about that.
Some of us are.
That was terrible. And now you look like a scarecrow, which is funny.
I'll just sit here for the rest of the show.
Well, we are glad you guys are here. So, lots of controversial stuff happening in the World of Warcraft interwebs this week, which there's going to be no ranting and soapboxing as far as that's concerned. We are going to try to keep it peaceable. We do realize that we have to be a little bit nice.
Not on the one point, but go ahead.
Just sometimes we do need to be a little bit nice, so we're going to refrain from alienating all of the people that listen to us, and we're just going to alienate some of them. So the first topic we are going to talk about, because I'm going to get that out of the way, but my reason for bringing up this topic has nothing to do with what happened. It's actually for a different reason. So eSports controversy in a sense, not really a controversy because esports is esports. There's nothing you can do to change it. I might not agree that it's a sport. It's whatever. I don't have to agree with it. People love it. They're watching it. They're doing it. Great. The reason for me bringing it up, and I know Lycan wants to talk about this ESPN guy that made a big, huge insult and called us all kids living in their mother's basements and all these things. My reason for bringing it up is a couple days ago, gaming with some friends, and that friend's friend had made a statement about World of Warcraft never being an esport, that they're never going to look at the PvP community seriously, which was absolutely appalling to a podcaster that knows the news and knows how important PvP is to World of Warcraft, to which I argued and stated, you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I do the news. I know what I'm talking about. His idea was, which was a valid idea, he doesn't see PvP being serious enough to be esports. They already have esports for World of Warcraft. You don't have to see the seriousness of it to know that it's already happening. In proof of that, there's huge community now that has started making this even more prevalent in their tournaments. World of Warcraft has started linking all the different links to these tournaments that you could either try to try out for, all these things that are huge PvP tournaments. So to those of you who have the same feeling that feel like World of Warcraft's never going to be involved in esports on a PvP aspect because it was stated that World of Warcraft doesn't love PvP, that's a bunch of horse shit because every streamer I know streams PvP. Just throwing that out there. So with that being said, I just wanted to let you guys know that I don't think that view is accurate, and I did get really quiet because I'm like, somebody's talking and they're not educated about it, so I need to just walk away now because PvP's always been the more serious as far as competitions go with World of Warcraft. It's never been about the PvE as far as competitiveness and tournaments go. Although they have started showcasing the raids and having those tournaments where two can get to the raid, who can clear the whole raid first at BlizzCon, but it's always been about the PvP tournaments as far as showcasing gameplay at BlizzCon and making.
Oh yeah, they're not going to show a raid.
Agree. So to those of you who feel that way, that's actually not the case. If you go to Blizzard, if you go to worldofwarcraft.com, the community managers are starting to link and showcase the different esports events that other people outside of Blizzard are starting to put together. It's becoming pretty large now that Blizzard's got on team with their esports is already big for Heroes of the Storm, but now they're making the PvP aspect of World of Warcraft a thing with esports. Now to get to what Lycan is so anxiously awaiting to talk about, there was an ESPN representative who went on his little soapbox. Went on a soapbox, insulted a bunch of gamers, said that everybody should lock the basement so the gamers can't get out. If he's ever forced to cover e-sport event that's gaming related, he's just going to quit on the spot. Really was over insulting. As a representative from ESPN, I don't even know why he still has a job. But Lycan, I don't need to ask you what your thoughts are, but the community might.
What really upsets me about this is, first of all, I'm going to give you the one statement that says, here's what's going to get me off the air. If I'm ever forced to cover guys playing video games, I will retire and move to a rural fishing village and sell bait. You know what? They did it with the boots to I believe it was NBC. Send them fishing rods. Send them maggots or worms in the mail and say, here's your bait you can sell. Because this guy is truly living up to his last name of coward. He sits there behind the safety of his box and can insult an entire group of fans that sat there and diligently watched the entire Heroes of the Storm thing and brought their ratings through the roof. They said it was the amount of ratings they had that night was more than they could ever plan for. First of all, it's on ESPN too. And then somebody said, well, why are you covering video games as a sport? It's not a sport. I'm sorry. The Kentucky Derby was today. Do you really call that a sport?
Well, the Kentucky...
I can jump on top of a horse, smack it in the ass a couple times, and ride around in circles.
A sport to me is physical. That's just my own interpretation. Doesn't mean I'm right. Everybody's going to get mad at me for saying that because it caused controversy on the page.
Is driving a car
call it a sport? Yeah.
Anything that is physical activity to me is by design a sport. If you're physical, doesn't matter if you're standing still, but if your whole body is into this physical activity, to me that's my own personal opinion. Doesn't mean, gaming's pretty intense. There's a lot that goes along with it, strategy, all those things. Not discounting that. I'm not even going to make my opinion known about that because all it's going to do is insult people who really feel strongly about it, and I'm not trying to do that. I don't agree with the statement that was made by the ESPN guy. I think it was horseshit, and I do feel like he was a coward. However, that's most of our World of Warcraft community that goes on the forums and is keyboard commandos. So really, he didn't do anything different other than what other people do, except he insulted me as a gamer, which was kind of shitty. Yeah. But I agree. To each his own. They want to make it an esport. They want to call it an esport. That's fine by me. A great job. I'm happy for you. Really.
I think there's a whole bunch of people in places like Korea that would beg to differ.
It's
they
different
get more
culture.
people showing up for their esport competitions than we do at an Australian AFL Grand Final. Which, I mean, that's fine because that's a shit sport as far as I'm concerned. But it's the same thing. Like, people don't necessarily have to agree with the term. Maybe the name of it is not that great, but we do have to accept the fact that this is a growing culture.
And
Or it's a growing facet of our culture, and whether people like it or not, there are hordes of fans like us that want to see this. And ESPN, like if I could, I'd give them a massive high five for showing it.
Here's the great thing. If people don't like it, they don't have to watch it. It's not really that serious. If you seriously feel so strongly that you don't like it, don't watch it. And nobody's going to cry in QQ because you didn't watch it. It's okay to be different.
If that guy doesn't want to commentate on it, you know what?
Don't do it.
Off, mate. Give it to someone else, because I guarantee you, within ESPN, like their entire staff, there's at least one little World of Warcraft player that, given the opportunity to like commentate on that, would just mincemeat it, just have a ball, and it'd be the opportunity of a lifetime. Give it to that guy.
My issue wasn't the insult.
Even adding to that, there are two things there that we need to recognize too. I believe it was the Staples Centers where they held it. They packed more people into there for Heroes of the Dorm than they do for basketball games.
That doesn't change people's opinions on them not wanting to view it as a sport. You could pack 10,000 million people, and it wouldn't make them feel differently.
But it's a growing market that needs an out. And eSports is what they're going to name it. That's fine. Agreed. They had a commentator, as a female commentator from ESPN, and she was tweeting through the entire Heroes of the Dorm, watching on ESPN2. First tweet she says, she goes, "I have no idea what I'm watching." By the end of it, she was picking teams out and cheering and picking individual heroes that they had for their, saying, yes, they did this, and they attacked, go for the core. I mean, she was really getting into it. Look, it's coming. We are, as Americans, are way behind where everybody else are. And if you go to Korea, if you go to Japan, these esports people that play LOL, play World of Warcraft PvP, they're held up as heroes.
Come over my way, mate. Like we it never even got televised here. Like for us to watch it, we had to do some sneaky jerry rigging, and
really the
to
point
get
is,
ESPN.
in all of this, is really who cares. It doesn't affect anybody's life if they're doing an esport. It doesn't affect my life. I'm not affected by it. I don't watch it. There might be some stuff World of Warcraft related, and if I start getting more serious with Heroes of the Storm, it might be interesting to me. For now, it's not interesting to me. It's not something I care to be involved in until the World of Warcraft stuff starts being more serious. Then, obviously, because I love World of Warcraft, I'll probably watch it. But I wouldn't revere somebody that won a tournament in a gaming aspect as a hero to me. But that's my own opinion. And that's just the way that I feel, and I know a lot of people feel that way. I'm not saying you don't give credit where credit's due. Would I call somebody that just won a PvP tournament a hero? No. Would I call them amazing and give them their credit? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You did something I couldn't do. Would I call you a hero? No, I wouldn't, because there's not a hero quality about winning a game tournament. However, doesn't mean you are not amazing and you are not the king and you are not the best and you're a gladiator and you're all of those things. I would term the way that I would view them differently than I would typically with physical sports. They're given the term hero because they do things with their physical body that no other person can do. That's why they're called a hero.
There's a whole debate on that too. If sports people are heroes, should they be looked up to as heroes? And
correct.
They're not. They're no better than anybody else.
What are hero-like qualities that you should call? So I do agree with that, and I think the esports thing is fine. That's their thing. I would like them to see them showcasing World of Warcraft stuff. I'm happy to see that they are, because they're building, as we speak, they're building their esports team for PvP for World of Warcraft. As we speak, that's what's happening on Blizzard's side. So
they're behind. They're behind too, because you got to remember, MLG has been on ESPN since 10 years ago. They've been on ESPN. I mean, they've been doing this forever. I mean, if Blizzard is trying to get involved in this, they're late. They're behind. But and people have always viewed Halo as different, of course, because they think that's whatever game. So they accept Halo easily than they would World of Warcraft or Heroes of the Storm or Hearthstone, stuff like that.
And here's where I want to finish on this too. If you don't think it's physical, though, hook me up to an EKG when I'm doing freeze. You'll see how physical it gets for me.
That's been my definition of a sport. I'm not saying it's not just as stressful on the body internally. To me, a sport has always been defined by its physical aspect, whether it's golf, whether it's Kentucky Derby, even NASCAR, because they're still doing something physical with their body in movement in a vehicle, and you still have to have high endurance to do 150 fucking laps around some bullshit. So sports to me, however, people are forgetting that it's not sports, it's eSports. There's what people are kind of forgetting, the eSports, for that reason, because it should be iSports, but whatever.
I would dare say you're saying like sporting stars, they do things with their bodies that nobody else can do. Go and watch some of the Korean kids that are playing in the StarCraft 2 tournaments and see they have the top-down camera so you can see the keyboard and mouse. I can't click my keyboard and mouse in PvP.
Yeah, that was a pro gamer.
But that doesn't mean anything to me.
It's true.
They're like superpowered people for keyboard.
I agree that those things should be showcased. So I think it's just more of a differences of opinion, and the people that are really upset about it don't have to do it. Do I think the ESPN guy should not have got on there and insulted an entire community of gamers? He should have stated how he felt without insulting people. That would have been better.
He didn't have to say anything at all. He's an idiot.
You want to know something?
So I am going to move on because we spent 15 minutes on this topic alone, and we still have other stuff to go through. And now we're going to leave it to the fans. Comment on the video and tell us what you think. In a non-hateful manner, we're not looking to have people get angry at each other and fight. We can all discuss things like adults. We can all have opinions like adults. And we can debate like adults without insulting other people and moving to that next level of fuckery that commonly happens when people feel really passionate about something. So comment on the page, comment on the video, tell us what you think. Really quickly, I know this isn't important to a lot of people. I see a lot of people get pissed off about this. Pepe is getting costumes. I love it. I think they're adorable. I dig the pirate's hat. Can't even deal with it. He's getting a Viking helmet, a plated helm, which looks like a pirate hat. The plated helmet and a pirate hat, and he gets a little ninja shroud. I think that's adorable. Keep in mind that this does happen when you get Pepe as a pet, which you do have to do the long something trip where you have to have Pepe on your head through all of the High Mall, all the LFR, all the Black Hand, all the dungeon bosses. Mm-hmm. Well, it's one boss out of each dungeon. Right. And then you have to do the 2 world bosses. So I've started doing that. I'm actually about halfway done. It's really annoying because you can't die with Pepe on your head. But for those of you that are interested, he is getting some costumes.
He's not getting a wizard hat though.
I'm gonna leave that to the last. So with PTR, some of the things that we've been talking about are going to be these bonus events. There is a lot more information, as with the last PTR build, they did put these bonus events on the calendar in PTR. And what these bonus events are going to be, they're going to be like 1 or 2 day little mini events on your calendar, because normally we have the typical holidays, then you've got your Dark Moon Fair, all those kind of things, your Stranglethorn fishing and all that. These are actually little mini events that last for about a few days. Some of the ones that have already been on PTR that people have already tested is the Time Walking Dungeon event. That's players level 81 or higher can access the Time Walking Dungeon Finder queue, and then you get to loot appropriately for that level. There is also a pet battle bonus event where pets earn experience triple the usual rate during these events, which is pretty awesome for the pet battlers.
Look at his eyes light up.
Draenor dungeon events, which defeating the enemies at any level 100 heroic or mythic dungeon award appropriate reputation for that Draenor faction of the dungeon, which is pretty legit. The Apexis bonus events, the crystals multiply mysteriously, and they are more plentiful when looting in Draenor when you're doing events that grant awards of Apexis crystals. Battleground bonus events, Radom Battlegrounds will award honor triple at the usual rate, and arena skirmishes will actually bonus award honor also at the usual rate. So these are going to be mini events that they'll randomly put on the calendar for people to get in line with. So you want to make sure once 6.2 is launched that you guys utilize the calendar a lot more for these events. I personally think this is pretty cool of Blizzard to do that, to give us more stuff to do in between stuff instead of your standard, and then you get to take advantage.
I think it'll encourage a lot of people that just at the moment are just going, you know what, I can't be bothered, and now because they're making it just that little bit easier or a little bit quicker, but more people will be inclined to actually go and do it. So hopefully it'll you'll get queue times that are shorter and
Bryce
all that
doesn't do
sort of
any
stuff
of
as
that,
well.
so it's not important to him. He's like, I don't even care. I don't even care, which is funny. But yeah, it's going to be good. I think I think they're working on trying to make people less bored as they advance into the 100s and max level.
Why not?
Agreed. I think it's a good thing.
And so they should.
Changes to professions and crafting. Obviously, with each new major content feature and new tiers and all that stuff, then we're going to start having changes in that. There's going to be 2 new ranks for upgrades to the World of Warcraft, or for the Warlord's crafted items. So you have Mighty, which is for rank 5, which is an item level of 700, and then you have Savage, which is rank 6, which is an item level of 715. I think that's pretty cool that they're giving, you want to buy my Mighty trinket or my Mighty crafted shoulders or Savage.
Well, look how many times in the past that we've made these crafted items when the expansion came out. And they were great items, and then within a couple months they're garbage. It's nice that we can actually keep pushing these over. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Definitely. And I do agree with the cap they're putting on it with the 3 pieces, because this way you don't sit there and just max out your profession. Right.
The crafting the new upgrades for the items is going to be requiring Fellblight, which Fellblight is, I'm so excited everything's Fell. I can't even deal with it. I'm so excited as a warlock. It's going to be a new reagent that's obtained from your fishing, your herbalism, your mining, and skinning in Tanaan Jungle is where you'll be able to get the Fellblight. And that's going to be used for all your different crafting purposes to be able to upgrade stuff, which is pretty legit. New recipes you'll be able to purchase by visiting your garrison traders that you have for those professions. So there's also, for rank 3, there's Greater, is what it's called, Greater. Rank 4 is Powerful. Those have basically been consolidated together. I don't really know. I think you can just automatically upgrade both of those, and then rank 2 upgradable item can be used to upgrade a World of Warcraft piece to rank 4. So they've kind of merged 3 and 4 together and just made it 4. Basically,
sounds about right.
That's what's happened. I think that's pretty much. Oh, they're increasing the output of the daily cooldown stuff, which is kind of cool because every day you log in and you get 4 of some bullshit item that you do your daily cooldown on, and you're like, thanks a heap for the 4.
I'll be able to make a new bag in 16 days.
Yeah, I mean, thanks a heap for that. But they are for the catalysts, the alchemical catalysts that you need for your potions and your flasks, the burnished leather, gear spring parts, hexweave cloth, talidite crystal, temporal crystal, true steel ignet, war paints, sorceress air, all of the sorceress things, and savage blood. You are going to get an increased output on those daily cooldowns for crafting and transmuting and all that stuff. So
now I'll be able to make them in 8 days instead of 8 days.
And the number of recipes that use crafting materials created through the daily cooldown now also requires less materials. So they're making it a little easy. Some people are saying that they're giving stuff away. At this point, it's really difficult to do stuff. I mean, I've just switched to tailoring, and I've got like 5 hexweave cloth on me, and it's been 2 weeks. So I agree there needs to be a fine balance, and give us a little bit more, but not too much to where it's just. It devalues what it is you're crafting and selling in the auction house. But the stuff's already devalued anyway. The crafted gear is already like $2,000 gold instead of what it was, which was like 20.
Not worth the time it takes to make at the moment.
I had a pair of 685 gloves that were already selling for 500. They're BOE gloves, and yeah, the prices are just falling everywhere.
They're increasing the skill points that you get on the level up ones. So the orange in nature ones that you craft to get your skill points for professions, it's going to be a little bit faster for leveling your profession. So if you're a person that swaps out quite frequently on different tunes because you find a mix on a different tune that you like, that's going to be a little bit easier for you to be able to do so, because the profession leveling is not so much an issue anymore with Draenor, because you can do the Draenor stuff without having to be maxed professions. But yeah, just those some things of note. I did save this for last as far as the news aspect goes, because I don't think it's going to be too controversial, because I think we all agree to a certain extent and like these people. So if you guys have logged on to your BattleNet, you've seen Bahjeera in Warcraft Jen. My initial reaction when I saw this is, what the actual fuck are these two doing on my BattleNet launcher? I watched the video. It's an adorable video. You can't help but like these two. You really, and Bahjeera's such a nice guy that you could literally want to punch him in the face, and you're just like, oh, you're so sweet. He really is that nice.
Why are we punching him?
But I'm saying, like, even if you
Wow.
hate him, he's really difficult to dislike. He kind of makes you like him because he's a real person, and he's very in tune with the people around him and is not lost who he is and the reason he's in the community. He's probably one of the only streamers that I watch and am excited to meet at BlizzCon. But this video was just them talking about the things that they've done and, and watch my channel, watch me stream and all of these things. And of course they're the stream haters, which I'm one of you people. There's a lot of streamers I dislike for different reasons. It's not because they're streaming. It's because what are they bringing to the community that's of value. So, I mean, it's situational, I guess is the right word, right? We have a situational dislike for certain streamers. I don't like the girls that show their boobs on their stream because, to me, that's not what a gamer's about. I streamed yesterday for Phonecast, and I'm streaming again tonight. And I had tons of people. I mean, it wasn't a million people watching, but I had people watching. Guess who wasn't showing their boobs? I wasn't, and I still managed to get people to watch. Wasn't a lot. I mean,
I wasn't on the camera, or I would have shown.
It wasn't a whole ton, but I did have a blast. But so
I'm totally for it.
What's happened here is the forums. God, one forum said, "What is a Warcraft Jen?" It was really insulting. They talked about her not being good, and why is she even a part of things, and that she's using, Bahjeera as her boyfriend, so she gets all the credit. Here's the thing. I think if it would have been another streamer put on BNet Launcher, I might have a different opinion. But I think because they chose Bahjeera and his fiancée, I know why they did it. What does everybody want to find in World of Warcraft that's single? Everybody wants to find their soulmate in gaming. They want to find that one that's going to sit side by side with a headset on and rage at the computer, because that's, as gamers and as people in life, you covet that which you love. So if you're a gamer, naturally you want a gamer spouse. They're the American tale. They're the world tale, not even American because it's international. They're the story that you want to tell. We want to find that in the community, and it's like a fairy tale, and Blizzard's cashing in on that. That's where I have a small issue, because I think it's kind of crappy on Blizzard's part to exploit their relationship like that. But they're allowing it because they have a vlog and they do stuff. But I think my reason is, if you're trying... Blizzard defended themselves on these forums with people insulting and getting pissed off that their BNet launchers being filled with streamers and YouTubers because they don't care. Blizzard, the CMs went on there and just said, we're trying to showcase people that are creating good content. I agree with that. However, are we also then going to be showcasing the little guy on the BNet launcher then? Am I to assume that Haruma Red, we were talking about him earlier, Frieza, Haruma Red makes excellent videos.
Yeah.
Am I to assume that I should be able to at some point see him on the BNet launcher because he gives back to the community and creates good content?
Oh yeah, him and Danger Dolan gaming.
Are we going to be seeing Noble on there? The answer is no. We're not going to be seeing none of those guys on there. That's the reality, and that's
you don't know that. You don't know that. If they start going down this path, they might start bringing these people in.
If that happens, I would be very happy that they're showcasing really people, not just based off popularity, but that are really giving players a reason to watch their channel. Noble makes excellent things. Haruma Red these guys make excellent things.
Make great videos.
And they're not 20 times as popular as some of these other guys because they've worked hard. Bahjeera's a great player. That motherfucker's been in Gladiator more times than I've been a mother. I mean, really, he really is a good player. His fiance's play style, she's really green with a lot of stuff, and he's teaching her, and I don't fault her for that. I mean, I don't mind.
Still better than all of us, man.
Well, I mean,
that's not it too. I mean, I'll tell you right now, it's jealousy. It really is, because they're going to showcase one person and put them out there, and everybody's going, well, what if I did a PvP? I wonder how many people here do their streams to get maybe 5 or 6 viewers when they do their stream that are upset because these are the ones that want them up on a launcher. It's great that they're putting this kind of stuff up. I'm happy that they're putting this stuff up, but you're right. Let's show some of the little guys.
I hope it makes it even. If they continue to do it and they're doing different,
I wouldn't call Human Red a little guy or Danger Dolan a little guy or Noble.
But they're not
PvP. They're not hardcore PvP, but they're not little in the community.
They're not streamers, and that's kind of the difference.
Look. Ben Affleck became Batman because they asked him to.
Please
Does he
don't make
belong
me
to be
rage
Batman?
about
No,
that.
hold on. Does he want to be? Is he supposed to be Batman? No, everyone knows that. But you know what they asked him? And what's the rule of thumb? Is if you don't know what you are, be Batman. That's always what you can be. So he said yes, and he did it. You know, whether or not he belongs there or not. They asked Bahjeera, and he said, yeah, sure. I have no problem
I'm not
doing
taking
that,
anything
you know?
away from Bahjeera.
He's going to say yes, just like
That's
any of
why
us
they
would.
started seeing green.
Well,
Yeah, if
All
anybody.
my husband
And we
asked
would do
me
the same thing.
question. He said, "What if it was you guys and you guys put on the
Yeah.
launcher?"
Heck yeah.
My question would be, what would be the reasoning we would be put on the launcher? Why? What would be the purpose? If there's a purpose given that's a valid purpose, I don't have a problem with that. I'm not saying I don't want fame and fortune like the next guy.
No,
Do I
no,
want it
we-
at the cost of my soul? No.
The people who need to realize this, and we've had this talk in the past about streamers and whatnot, but for the viewers who didn't hear that episode, you need to realize that this is the only game that does give back to the player. They do realize the players. Now, I played Halo for 11 years, and no one ever talked about the best players in Halo. They didn't give a 2 cents about those people. So you need to realize that you may get mad that they're only mentioning the few people. You should be celebrating that the people who create this game even recognize people.
Agreed.
Think about it. The only way, and this is true, guys. The only way you knew who the best Halo players were was you would have to see him on Cribs. And then you'd be like, oh, this guy's a millionaire from playing Halo. But Blizzard never once put the name out there. Hey, T-Squared is the best gamer in the world. You never saw it once. You never saw a video. You never saw a statue made in the game for him. You didn't have a clue. So, no, you should be happy that the game is recognizing people who do give back to the community. I think you're taking it totally wrong, and you need to compare this game to all the other games.
Agreed.
And not only that, it also, you know, they have done that with some players. You know, I know Walmartian, streamer. He did a lot of videos with the rares and MOP. He has a belt in the game named after him. So
That's
they
cool.
do they recognize him. What's his name?
Herculia has a
belt.
trinket.
Right.
Yeah.
As for Bahjeera and Warcraft Jen, they have a responsibility to actually do this. Because how much money are they making off of World of Warcraft? They're making a lot of money from World of Warcraft. So for them to be, you know, if they came up to us and would say we're making money hand over fist like he is, and they came up to us and say, hey, we need you to be on the launcher, we need you to do things, it is our responsibility. This company
Well, they're not
made
hurting.
us who
It
we
makes
are.
them more money by being on the
Right.
launcher. So, I mean,
And
let's
that
be real
also.
about that.
But they also put themselves out there saying, look,
Right.
you know, we've benefited from this game for so long, and yes, they are probably making some more money in return, but it is their responsibility to say,
Well, they're
look,
making
you know,
money
want to-
because people are
Right.
giving them money. I mean, and
Exactly.
that's really, and I want to make sure that that's really clear. Although they give a lot of great things for the community, and this allows them to be able to make money, to be able to make it their sole responsibility, so they do have the time to really put good content out there. If they were making tons of money and were putting garbage out there, I would have a concern. However, let's be a little bit real in the fact that these guys don't do this shit out of the kindness of their heart. It's money making because that's what makes the world go round. So let's make sure that we're being clear. They're not these magnanimous people that are doing it because they so badly want to do for other people. They are making money because that's how they're able to do it. However, they're doing a really good job, and it's rightfully so. You should be, if you're making this your life, I think that's great that you're getting paid for it because he doesn't have to do anything in real life because he can give all of his energy towards making sure he's making excellent videos like he's always done in the past.
The whole thing that bothers me about this, and also I'll say it quietly, and I totally agree with everything that everyone's saying in at least some small capacity. The thing that bothers me about this whole fiasco is, I'm a massive fan of these two. So seeing that video on there didn't bother me in the slightest. What did bother me was clicking on the forum links and going and seeing the asinine, pig-headed bullshit on those forums of people just spewing absolutely
They
volatile,
berated her really bad,
disgusting
Jen specifically.
filth. Like,
Yep.
Why?
I won't even.
Because
I'm not
she's
even going
not
to
a pro,
repeat.
and they feel
What?
like
She's not a pro? Have any of us ever been in her shoes?
But
Have you ever played at
that's
her level?
entirely inconsequential. It doesn't
That-
matter. People love her. She doesn't have to be a pro. Here's the good news. I don't really care for her gameplay. I love her as a person. She could sit for 30 minutes and talk to me about her shoe size. And because she's a nice girl, she's entertaining, she's engaging, she has a lot of interesting things to say. She's funny. I would watch her. She doesn't have to be a pro gamer for me to watch her. She just has to entertain me.
People need to realize you'd be honored to be healed by her.
Agreed. Well,
are you serious right now? Are you playing at 2,800 rating as a healer? She does. And you can't carry that far up.
I wouldn't put.
You can only carry past 2250.
I don't think anybody's on a pedestal, you right now. But I would just like to play with her, not to put her on a pedestal like I'm going to kiss your feet. But what I like about her is that she entertains people, and she does it very well. And to me, I enjoy that. I want to be entertained when I'm looking for entertainment value like that. I like that about her. And what was really shitty is these guys went on the forums and they berated her. They talked about teabagging her in a BG and these things.
I don't see Soda Pop and Exario and Jamali talking about her. They don't care. They know
it's the little guys.
It's the freaking little people who have no clue what they're talking about.
They feel like they're angry or jealous, or maybe they think she's pretty and they're mad Bahjeera got her. I don't really know what the reasons are. People have done an assault towards her. I think it's crappy.
Because she's a good-looking girl and she's a gamer, and people honestly are jealous, and it's a shame that this absolute hatred and garbage comes out of people when we're putting somebody up on a pedestal, saying, look, these two put great content out there, they're very well popular known. Let's showcase them, and people just spew their filth at them, and it's disgusting.
It's sad. I can't even repeat. Like, we swear on this show, and if you know me in
they
real
said
life,
bad things.
I
they said really bad
the
things.
worst potty mouth in the history of ever having my swear jar is a itty bitty bin, and it's over full. I can't repeat the stuff that they're putting on the forums about this.
Yeah, but it wouldn't bother her.
No, she doesn't. I'm sure she has feelings. If somebody said they were going to teabag me on a fucking forum, boy, would we have problems. I'd be blowing your house up because that's not cool. But I mean.
Fair enough, you might hate it and you might want to complain about it, but go on the forums and say, look, you know what, I don't agree with this being in a BattleNet, please don't do it. Don't sit in there and go, I'm going to do this and you're
come with valid logic to support your claims if you're feeling strongly about something. Don't come with insults and berating. I agree.
Use your big people words.
And she's a really nice girl. Bahjeera's a really nice guy. He's really huge, and I would never want to pick a fight with him because he scares the shit out of me. But I mean, I would if I had to protect myself. But
we got bloke in our corner. We're good.
Agreed.
Yeah, we got bloke.
These are nice people, and regardless of rating and gladiator status, and strip all that away, they're nice people, and they entertain, and they put good content out there. They put helpful things out there. Here's how you can be better. What I always love about Bahjeera is he is not like, get on my level, do you even lift, bro? He's like, let me help you be better at what you're doing so that you are satisfied with your personal outcomes.
It's always those who are there to help, the ones on top. It's not this freaking
It's not the ones that hide what their secrets are and are afraid to tell you what makes them so amazing. They share that with everybody, and that to me says that you really do care about the average player. And he plays with his streamers all the time. He plays with his fans. He'll go and queue up with his fans all the time, and that I love. So on that note, we're going to get into some of the segments, but if you guys are one of those forum trollers and you're insulting, what's our rule? If you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. It's not that difficult. If you don't like her or him,
come and say that shit to me at BlizzCon, and we'll see how that conversation
go say that to their face and watch Bahjeera stomp your face in. But literally, if you don't like it, you don't have to be berating. We as a community, we don't have to berate people. We can just say, I don't agree with this and I don't like this. That's one of the reasons I love the gaming community, even outside of World of Warcraft, because we can all think differently and still come together for a common goal. Nobody has to share everybody's ideas. And you will look at one situation 20 different ways with 20 different people. But there's a fine line between having a strong opinion and feeling some type of way than going out publicly on forums and on Facebook and literally tearing these people down. She didn't do anything to anybody. She didn't ask for Bahjeera to highlight her into everybody's like, well, that's just Bahjeera's arm girl. They're getting married. It's not like she was a $20 fucking hooker. I mean, they're getting married. Right. She's entitled to have that part of his life. I do stuff in the community, and unfortunately my husband's entitled to ride that lightning because that's what goes along with it, but it doesn't mean he's not any less valid for what he's saying because he's my husband. He brings a lot of smart things to the table where PvP is concerned. Nobody calls him my guy on my arm because that's That's unfair. Give credit where credit's due, and if you don't want to give credit, shut the fuck up and stay off the forums. Simple as that. If you don't want to see it in your BattleNet launcher, guess what? Don't click play. Expelliarmus.
Right.
Don't click play. So with that, that's just terrible. I'm very upset. I feel like I want to call her on the phone if I had her number and be like, you're awesome. Don't care about people saying they want to teabag you. Who does that in real life?
She should go to BlizzCon with her rating on her back.
I agree.
And let everybody see her rating and her gladiator and be like, I got it like on 6 characters.
And teabagging. Is that like a thing?
It was a Halo thing.
It's a Halo thing.
That's
Here's
a
the
gaming
thing.
in
If a
general
motherfucker
thing.
ever tried to teabag me, boy, I tell you what, you wouldn't have any balls because I'd rip them off. But
if you don't know what teabagging is on Halo, for the viewers, if you never played Halo, back in Halo 2 is when it really started big time, because you need to go to reload your sniper rifle and it was empty.
Please don't
You would
demonstrate.
automatically try to reload it when you swapped weapons. So if you were swapping weapons, he grabs the sniper rifle from the bottom. So if you kneel down, he's grabbing it and he does this.
oh god, that's terrible.
And that ran for 3 years, and then that's how humping and teabagging was.
Sometimes I do wish I was a boy because there are some things that I would like to understand from an anatomical.
That
situation.
demonstration was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No.
I would like.
I was going to make it
understand
worse,
that,
but
Well played, sir. Well played.
I PG'd it.
That
that comes
was
in
a
the
good
podcast
demonstration.
after dark.
So if you're a guy and you run around talking about teabagging people, I mean, maybe you might have some fetishes that you might want to work out of your system. I'm sure there's a girl that you can pay to allow her to do that, so you don't have to go teabag people on the interweb.
There's probably some guy that'll come do it too.
I mean, there are some weird shit on Craigslist if you've ever browsed Craigslist for just normal electronic ads, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's the fetish stuff, which is kind of awkward. Boy, sometimes where do you go from here?
I was looking up juices. This morning I was looking up different juices on Spy, on Walla, and then there's Stormhouse or
like the
Boathouse
drink
Farms.
that you drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I put naked and just hit enter, and I was like, oh no, this is not what I was naked juice. Got it.
Anytime you put the word naked on the internet, it goes awry. I was searching something Disney for my kids one day, and then I'm admin of Raid Naked. So I'm searching for sexy World of Warcraft stuff to post on Raid Naked. What I forgot about is when I started searching, I had still had Disney in there. So when I typed it, it said Naked Disney because I had merged the two. There were things Disney characters were doing that you should never see as an adult unless you're prepared to
Mickey
see
Mouse.
things. And you already know, which makes it worse. Oh gosh, I can't do it. Switching gears.
It's Rule 64, basically.
Switching gears.
I've been down that path before.
We have 2 segments. I'm going to get mine out of the way because I want to leave you guys with Lycan's lore section because it's going to be really, really good. So I'm going to get mine out of the way really, really quickly. And for Bell's Bites, I did use Dan the Paladin. He's one of the Phonecast Daily Quest writers. He wrote a really, really good Tanaan Jungle preview for the people to read. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Tanaan Jungle and some things that I realized being on PTR and checking that stuff out against what Dan had actually posted. So that was an accident. So with that being said, I did go into the PTR and I did realize that what they've done is they've given Tanaan Jungle basically is, since it's for max level 100, that's going to be the Timeless Isle of Warlords of Draenor. That's actually what's going to be happening. So, which is kind of cool because I enjoyed that being a max level in Mists of Pandaria, although we spent way too much time being on Timeless Isle. But with that, when you go to Tanaan Jungle, you're going to be able to get the Jungle Stalker achievement similar to the Timeless Isle Champion when you had to kill all the rares on Timeless Isle to be able to get that achievement. This one, you're not going to have to kill all of them. You just have to kill 30 out of the 50 of the rares on Tanaan Jungle's island, and you'll get the Jungle Stalker achievement, which is pretty cool. So, the backstory. I'm going to read you what was put out in a quote because I want to make sure that I don't put my own words into it because it's very important. So, deep within the Tanaan Jungle, the manipulations of the Warlock Gul'dan have twisted what remains of the Iron Horde into a sinister new form. An army of fell orcs brimming with demonic energy and insatiable, bloodlust. Now Gul'dan continues his machinations from inside the seemingly impenetrable Hellfire Citadel, plotting to open a portal for a massive invasion. So obviously we already know that Hellfire is going to be the new tier for the rating, which is in the center of Tanaan Jungle. That's going to be strictly for level 100s. And basically you just have to hunt down Gul'dan, stop before all the dark plans happen, Untold Ruin, and all that stuff. The cool thing about it is, after, obviously we told you guys last week that you're going to have a shipyard in order to be able to enter Tanaan Jungle. So if you're not a garrison person, it doesn't take much to build the shipyard. You go in, you have the quest for it, you build it, you're done, boom, happy. After you've done that, you'll set out to sea, and you'll actually be going to the different sea areas to assault within Draenor. They actually have a total of 7 that you're going to be assaulting from your shipyard, and it's the Fell Forge, the Throne of Kil'jaeden, Ironhold Harbor, Ruins of Cranach, Zethgol, the Iron Front, and Temple of Shinar. So those places are going to be 7 integral components of you being inside. Now, obviously, most of you have seen screenshots, so you know that it's going to be fell in nature. A lot of the weapons have fell animations. The new mounts are reskinned, but they have fell on them. Whatever.
Worse.
Well, I mean, it could be worse, that we could not be getting any new mounts at all. So I mean, that's not too terrible. So with that, there's going to be a new currency for there's going to be a new currency for your campaigns that you'll have to get. Now, I'm going to end on one of the places that you're going to go inside Tanaan Jungle, which I'm super excited about, is you're actually going to be visiting some of these places that we've dealt with the remainder of the warlords. So you're actually going to get to go to the cave where Kilrogg Deadeye actually sacrificed his eye. We're going to get to explore some of these things in general. So there's going to be much to do. There's going to be an outpost for Alliance and an outpost for Horde on Tanaan Jungle side, just as with every map, and everybody kind of running around doing all those kind of things. Tons of new pets, tons of new toys, tons of new gear, tons of new rares. They really, really... I'm glad they waited so long to produce it, because it seems like they've done a really, really good job of getting those things out there. But I have to tell you, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's Iron Horde, everything, but it's got that mix of just sheer awesomeness where you just stand there and you go, this is amazing. Like, it's beautiful. And you're going to be entering...
Why I haven't looked at the previews. I've been waiting to experience it in a player perspective.
I was very careful in PTR what I was looking at. I didn't go forth. I stayed and just was looking at how to get to what and where we were going to do what. I didn't do any cutscenes. I didn't go through. I haven't done any of that because I also want to just experience it. Since we do this, I always go in and ruin it because I get invaded and I get all these things, and I want to make sure that this is experienced. But thank you to that. The article which we did post the preview on was written by Dan, and he did a really phenomenal job. He also did extensive coverage on the shipyards so that you know exactly what you're getting into for doing the naval missions and what those kind of things can bring. So with that said, I'm done. With Bell's Bites, I wanted to make sure next week I'm going to cover the shipyards so that you guys know more in detail from an actual person's perspective of what's going to be going on. And I'm going to hand it over to Lycan to talk to you about the lore segment this week. And I promise nobody's going to interrupt you. I am going to mute, sir.
Which is actually funny, and I swear we didn't plan this because I was busy all week and didn't really have much time to talk to her. But I do want to go over Kilrogg. And there's a very particular reason why I want to do Kilrogg, but I need to give a little bit of backstory through what he was in our current timeline. Kilrogg actually killed 3 of his sons and 2 of his own grandsons because they thought they could run the Bleeding Hollow clan better than he could. As he got older, as most orc chieftains do, they were less willing to really just throw the lives away. But to Kilrogg, this was honorable, but to everybody else, this looked very cowardice. Now, the Bleeding Hollow clan, along with the Twilight Hammers clan, led by Cho'Gall, actually attacked Stormwind Keep during the First War. And it was absolutely a nightmare. Things didn't go right. They were eventually defeated and driven back. And actually, Kilrogg blamed Cho'Gall for the disaster, and Cho'Gall ended up blaming Kilrogg for the disaster. Big fight broke out. Nobody trusted anybody. So really, the Horde was going to fall apart before it was even formed. So Gul'dan actually stepped in and put Blackhand as War Chief of the Horde. Kilrogg fought under Blackhand, and then later also under Orgrim Doomhammer. During the Second War, he was stationed through Khazad-dûm. They controlled all the oil and mining functions of the Horde. But after the destruction of the Dark Portal, Kilrogg escaped and refused to surrender. He was actually on the run for 2 years and was not captured. He was then summoned, though, to the other side of the Dark Portal when Tanaan Jungle had reopened it. He was, if you remember, he is the leader of the Death Knights of Draenor. He was the first Death Knight. A little bit different than what the playable race is, but still a Death Knight nonetheless. And the Horde actually reunited under Ner'zhul. Now, Kilrogg's very instrumental in the planning for the Second War. Knew the layout of the land, knew where all the weaknesses were, so he was very important. With him, Kargath, Bladefist, and Grum Hellscream, they led the charge back into Azeroth. Now, on his way to Shadowmoon Valley, though, Kilrogg actually rested at Ockadun, and he did not want to stay there. He was very adamant that he did not want to stay there. Something bad was going to happen. This is actually where he was ended up killed on our timeline inside the Shadow Labyrinth by a man by the name of Danath Trollbane. Now, Trollbane basically threw his blade at Kilrogg's throat and on his blind side and slashed him in the throat, killed him. As he was dying, though, he proclaimed that the Horde would be victorious, and most people actually wonder if this is what he saw through his vision when he did remove his eye, and I'll get a little bit into that here in a second. Grum and Kilrogg actually knew Ner'zhul was very bad, and there is a non-canonical part of the novel that says that he actually did not die at Ockadun, but was actually forced their way back through the Dark Portal right before it closed, and was basically saved before the destruction of Draenor. So, if you want to go with what the in-game story is, he's dead at Trollbane, by Trollbane's hand. If you want to go with the non-canonical, he actually lived very long throughout Azeroth. Now, let's bring it up to the current timeline. What we're doing is, with our current timeline, he was an honorable orc. The Bleeding Hollow clan were some of the most honorable orcs that were out there. However, in the WOD timeline, and I'm wondering where this actually changed, if it was because our involvement before he removed his eye. But the Bleeding Hollow clan are actually some of the most savage orcs that are out there. He and his clan disappeared actually into Tanaan Jungle. And after displaying the Dark Portal, the Warlords actually showed up and attacked Ariok, which is was attacked by Ariok. He was a Blackrock orc. Now, with this though, he was actually seen on the same cliff. You know, we saw the trailer where we have Kilrogg standing up with Grommash. But, and it's going to be spoiler alert if you haven't gotten this far into the Legendary Ring Quest, but hopefully you are at least seeing the cinematic already. Now we see Kilrogg, though. Kilrogg is the one that drinks the blood of Manaroth. Sorry, Leif, or Bloke, if you haven't seen it. But, you know, here's Grommash. Grommash comes up, steps in front of Gul'dan. Gul'dan starts basically insulting him right there. Says, you know, you promised honor, you promised conquest, we've got nothing. The best part is when he threw the Gorehound down at his feet. And he goes, you have lost, and of course he had to use the word everything, but if you have lost everything, you know, including your son. So, and he goes a step forward to attack Gul'dan. Gul'dan immediately sucks him up against the wall, puts his like green things around him. But it's Kilrogg that steps forward and drinks the blood. What nobody has ever gotten into, what you don't see any type of lore inside the game, what you don't see on the sites, was this actually part of what Kilrogg saw when he did the sacrifice? See, with their clan, they have this cave that, you know, Bell had mentioned. They go into the cave, they sacrifice their left eye. And when he sacrifices his left eye, he is given a vision of the future up to and including his death. Is this something that Kilrogg saw, that he has to do this? Or is this something that he wants to try and change what is going on? The only two people that we know right now in the game that can see the future are Gul'dan, because he's proven that, and we can see that Kilrogg does, because he's given that sacrifice. But what I don't understand, what is very confusing me, is where is Kilrogg's place in everything? You know, is he going to be the new Grommash where he starts bringing over the rest of the Orcs to be Fel Orcs? Or is this just a step two, waiting for Grommash to actually drink the blood? I mean, him and Kilrogg are best buds.
We kill Kilrogg, though.
We do.
In this timeline, at least. So you're talking about an alternate timeline. Where would his place be?
Not only that, but what is he doing now? Is this something that he is going forward to take the power? Or is this something that he's stepping forward? Maybe he saw Grommash drinking the blood in his vision. Is this something that he stepped in to try to save? Him and Kargath and Grommash are great friends. You know, they're very closely knit. They consider each other brothers.
Most psychos are, I mean.
Right. So did he see Grommash do this and see the destruction of the Horde and try to drink the blood to try to get him not to do this? Or is this something that he's known the entire time, that he has to lead the Iron Horde, or at least the Bleeding Hollow clan, into this direction? So it'll be interesting to see what we see when we come into Tanaan Jungle. We are definitely going to be facing the Bleeding Hollow clan. And like I said, in this timeline, they are some of the most savage, destructive orcs out there. They do some really weird blood rituals.
Is it fetal possessions? Because I'm
Not
still
fetal
not over
possessions.
that. Okay.
No, not close to that, but they do some nasty blood rituals that most orcs would consider very taboo. So
Wow.
it'll be neat to see where we go with this into Tanaan.
Really interesting.
Yeah, that was food for thought for sure. That's why I wanted to make sure I left the last segment before we got into our Weeks in WoW with that, because I knew that was going to be one of those moments.
I thought that he just got the future of his death. I didn't realize that he would get a future of all the way up to his death.
Well, if you think about it, if you go up to see what the future, you know, if you see a vision of what your death is, if your death shows that you're not fell tainted, why would he drink the blood?
Yeah, you would already know what your future would be based
Right.
off.
So he's trying to change it, even though.
Well, we don't know what his future shows. They never said it. Even those little videos they were putting before
They didn't
Warlords,
show
they
you
never
what
showed.
he actually saw in his
Right.
vision.
Oh, that's right.
But he was kind of horrified what he saw. You could tell that the look on his face changed when he saw what his. And quite frankly, if I saw how I'm going to die, I think I'd be kind of horrified.
Well,
too.
and now he doesn't have an eye to boot. So
Right.
not only did he see his own death, now he has to walk around
But
with no
he's
freaking
got
eye.
a really cool warlock spell named
He's
after
got a
him.
really cool warlock spell after him.
It's pretty useful.
The
in
most
some-
underused spell in the game.
Well, I found some uses for it throughout the years, but I mean, it's definitely not the most highlighted in the Warlocks.
Well, it's certainly, certainly worthwhile chopping out your eye for that one.
Well, tell us what you guys think. Tell us your theories. Make sure you guys comment on the video. Hit up like in at pwnecast.net. Comment on the page. Send us an inbox. Whatever avenue you choose. Let us know how you feel and what your theories are. You guys did a really good job last week when we talked about Rathian. You guys had some good stuff to bring to the table, so I did enjoy that. We did have an article, Dark Alleyway, the Prince, that Frost Crane had actually posted to expand on what Lycan was talking about, and did a little bit of tinfoil hatting there. So make sure you guys go to the Pwnecast Daily Quest to check that out. So it looks like we're getting pretty close to time, so we can close out with our weeks in WoW. Friza's still taking a break, so nothing WoW related this week, but is gearing up to step back in for the new season.
Yeah, just waiting for the new season to start, doing some theory crafting in my head, and trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So
Awesome. Lycan, what did you do this week?
Did a lot of leveling. I'm actually leveling up my Shadow Priest just to have a little bit more fun with him, because I'm getting tired of being beat by Zarth and Rated Battlegrounds on damage. I don't know how Shadow Priests are putting out that much damage, and if you talk about a class that needs a nerf, they're definitely one of them.
It's insane.
I know.
I did want to give a shout out though to a GM. I'm not going to go into the details of why I opened the ticket, but I opened a ticket. Actually had a response back in less than an hour. The GM is Thurlaneville. I'm not sure how he or she pronounced it, but I have to say it's one of the most pleasurable experiences I've ever had with a GM. My issue was taken care of very promptly. I wasn't given the cold shoulder. Made a few jokes, and it was very nice to sit back and actually talk to somebody that's, when you're talking about customer service and you call it through, your cable company or any of your other companies, all you do is talk with robots. At least with WoW and Blizzard in general, they have very good customer service agents. So I do have to give a shout out to the GM teams and say, hey, great job.
Oh, I agree with that.
Awesome.
And I got my night title for RBGs last night. So
You
I'm
did
excited.
get it last night. That was pretty legit. It was very exciting. He screamed like a schoolgirl.
When I had to deal with a couple GMs, my account got hacked and deleted, and I had to go deal with the GM for that. And that was actually a very pleasurable experience.
Mhm.
It was, and that was a long time. I was back in BC.
I've never had a bad experience with a GM, luckily.
Me neither.
But I don't really have many. Bloke, what'd you do this week?
I actually had a pretty busy week. I spent time getting my mage up to 100 with my buddy Kodak.
It's not a mage, that's a fucking wizard.
It's
Come
a
on.
wizard mage. All right, it's a new
of
class
the magical
I'm adding
school,
in.
right? So
Yeah, it's a
Playable
wizard mage.
class?
I'm adding it in. Next expansion, you watch. It'll be a thing. But no, I spent a bunch of time, much to Fraz's dismay, in Ashran. And I've sort of got this bee in my bonnet now of Shammy's Chem PvP, and I got my 1,000 artifacts, and I'm just like, one step closer to saying, chuck you, everybody that says Shammys suck. I got Garona.
congrats.
That last mission, if you haven't done it, enjoy that for a good hour or so.
No desire,
but the cinematic at the end is worth it. But other than that, I've just been chewing up my time getting hyped about BlizzCon and talking to people about that. And
Pretty lovely.
I love being a part of all the different communities, obviously, that come with Punkcast and Blizzard in general. But the different communities that I'm now getting educated in that are specific to BlizzCon, like the BlizzCon 2015 group, and then there's like the BlizzCon workout group, and then there's the scavenger hunts and all this sort of
I'm
stuff.
not really a fan of working out unless it involves mouse clicking or keybinds. I'm not really a fan of that. So.
You know what? I throw it out there. I have actually got involved in that one because, as some people know, I'm actually coming back to the land of the living from a pretty decent injury. So for me to actually survive the duration of BlizzCon, I do have to put a bit of work in. And the community there have been brilliant, both on the Facebook page, but in-game as well. They were helping me in Ashran. But
Nice.
But we can't say that because it's all on the Shammy Wizard,
Nice.
which is another class I'm adding in.
Gotcha. Nice.
Next
Shammy,
expansion.
like that.
Shammy Wizard Mages.
Well, this week I did
Nerf it.
the Monk Heals is level 100. So now the grind for the gear begins before the next season. So
Another MM.
yeah,
Awesome.
no, well, no.
Awesome.
No.
Or MW.
It's Miss Weaver.
I thought it was.
No, I'm a heals. But
Another one. Another one enters with a stupid green shield. We can't get enough of those.
I
people
mean,
in the
warriors
RPGs.
eat right through that, so
Yep.
it's really not valid. But
No, they can't.
yes, they can. I got killed in bubble.
No, they can still damage you in a
No,
bubble, but they
I
can't.
got killed in bubble.
I don't know about all
I went from full health to nothing, laying there dead,
Yeah.
2
I had no
seconds after
comment.
I bubbled.
Never
Hunter-wise, if you know what you're doing, it's not that hard either.
I was
Never
like,
heard
"What
of
just
it.
happened?" And somebody's like, "That's a warrior," and I was like, "Great, that's great." Anyway, it's been really fun to play something different, and just kind of get a different taste for healing. And it's not terrible. I'm undergeared and get shit on every battleground, but I mean that's just comes with the nature of getting gear for somebody. She doesn't have any gear at all, so
You should
been doing
totally
that.
roll the Shammy Wizard.
we've been doing a lot of. We have a lot of good things planned for guild events and a lot of fun stuff that we're doing with raffles and transmogathon. We have a lot of stuff that's been going on in the guild, which is now almost to 900 members, which has been pretty lovely. With more people comes more issues, so it's been a lot of structuring and organizing with the officers and making sure that everything's on point. And it's been really, really nice, actually, in game. My school is done in 2 weeks, and I can't wait. Oh, geez. I am so excited to be done with that. But we've just been doing a lot of prep for BlizzCon in addition to that because that's going to be pretty huge. The Blizz Nerd Dinner, we'll make sure that we post it. It's going back on sale on the 15th, I believe it is. I'll have to double check the dates and post it. So if you guys want to come hang out with us at the Blizz Nerd Dinner, it's going to be the night before BlizzCon, and the tickets are $60, I believe. Which
Don't get a photograph of me. I only charge $20 a photograph.
you get dinner and a show, and you just get to come hang out and party with us. Which you don't have to pay to party with us, but if you want to go to the dinner, then you have to pay for you have to pay for that. But we'll make sure we post that for you guys. But that's pretty much
You have to bring a
it.
stool to stand on if you're going to have a photo with me, or get like from here down. the photo.
I'm just going to be a midget. That's just what is happening in my life. I just realized that everybody that's going with me, with the exception of Heather, is going to be tall. So, yay.
Real life gnome punting.
Just get used to that. But that's pretty much all I did this week. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. We had we had a lot of information that was given. Keep in mind that, when we're doing how we feel and we're talking about how we feel and we're talking about how we feel and all that sort of thing, they are our opinions. We don't try to make anybody hate us, but we are going to say how we feel, and we're entitled to those opinions just as you are. So make sure that you guys respect the episodes, and if I see any negative comments as far as insulting people, we're not going to allow that. So
I haven't done it yet, so no.
Well, I had to mediate some comments last week on the YouTube because they were just insulting. But we can all have opinions and feel how we want to feel without anybody getting ticked off about it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the show because obviously Lycan's dog has decided that he gets his attention, or
Right.
she, and not us. So if you need to get a hold of Frieza, he's not on Battle Tag, so you're just going to have to wait until he's back in World of Warcraft.
You can get a hold of him, too bad. You can't.
If you want to
You're
get a hold of
pretty
Huge
much hosed.
Bloke, you can find him on his Facebook page, Huge Bloke. You can also find him on the Pwnecast Facebook as well.
I actually.
That's the
use
first
that
time one of my
house.
children has ever... Did you guys see him?
We did.
Oh.
Okay, that's the first time that he never comes in here when it's showtime. How funny. If you need to get a hold of Lycan, you can email him at lycan@pwnecast.net. He's also on Twitter at Lycan, Pwnecast Lycan,
I believe so.
and he's on Facebook. We're all over the place. And as usual, if you ever
Yes,
need to
sir.
get a hold of me, you can find me all over Azeroth because... Once again, I get around. But we're going to go ahead and let
That's
you guys...
what we've heard.
We're going to let you guys get out of here. Go ahead and make sure you guys check out pwnecastdailyquest.com for all your guides and helpful stuff. And just, if you're effective toilet time and need some stuff to read, we got you covered. So thank you for watching and or listening. Once again, we appreciate you spending your hour with us every week. It's always an honor to let you guys, or for you guys to let us entertain you. So we're going to get out of here.
Yes, we are.
Bye.
Yes, so everybody.
Oh, do I got my little...
I was waiting for it.
Did you say you got a throne? Oh, God.
You thought for 1 week you could get
I
away
really
with
did
it.
think that I was going to skip out on that.